So how to pull a green card from the sky? As I already told you guys, this is one of the most popular questions I get. People just wonder, okay, how do I get a green card if I have no connections in the US? So in this video, we're going to be telling you how out of nowhere you can suddenly land a green card and then start living your American dream. Okay, start living your American dream. You land a green card, and by the time that your family and friends and your colleagues at work know you're already in New York or in Los Angeles, you have a job, your great job, a car, an apartment, you are living your American dream, and you're going and coming in your winter coat. Even though you don't have any family member here, you don't have a job here. Okay, so that's why we titled it How to Pull a Green Card from the Sky. Now let's move on to our let's get started with our next slide. Okay, so EB2 NIW, we're going to do the overview of what the EB2 petition is, then we can move into EB2 NIW. So EB2, guys, it is a type of petition that you file if you are looking to apply for a green card. So the EB2 itself does not give you a green card, okay? So if you want to see the slides, please join in on Facebook. We're sharing the visuals for the live video on Facebook. Just search akpokulaw on Facebook and you should be able to see us live on Facebook. All right, so EB2 is the underlying immigrant visa classification. So that's what you apply for if you are looking to get a green card. Okay, so the EB is just an employment-based. It's an employment-based category. So there are 5 general employment-based categories, 5 ways to get green cards through the employment-based category. Okay, the first is EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, and EB5. In this video, we're going to be focusing on the EB2, which is for people or for immigrants, or as the law calls it, aliens with an advanced degree. Aliens with an advanced degree. Let LinkedIn know we are on Facebook. Quite unfortunate I couldn't join from LinkedIn, but hopefully they can all join us. Okay, so the EB2, we're going to do an overview of the EB2 petition. So the EB2 is the foundational petition. Once you get it approved, then you can apply for a green card if you are in the United States, or you can apply for what's known as an immigrant visa. Let me clarify, an immigrant visa is the same as a green card. Well, it's not the same, but it leads to the same thing. An immigrant visa is issued to you if you are outside the United States, and it's known as a Form I-551. It's like a visa in your passport, and it's the Form I-551. And once you get to the airport, they allow you to enter the US as a permanent resident. You will be admitted as a permanent resident. Once you land in the US, within about 3 weeks or a month, you get your green card in the mail. The catch is that the US Department of State the USCIS does not send green cards outside the US. So you will not get your green card if you are based in Ghana or Nigeria or Pakistan or Afghanistan or China. You get a stamp in your passport, and once you enter, you get your green card mailed to you in the US. So an immigrant visa is the equivalent of a green card. You get an immigrant visa if you're outside the US. So if you have the EB2 petition approved for you, then you can apply for an immigrant visa or a green card, okay? Now, generally, the EB2 is, it allows immigrants or foreign nationals who have an advanced degree to apply for green cards, okay? It allows them to apply, first of all, to apply for the EB2 petition. And what does this EB2 petition mean? It means that if you want to apply for an EB2 petition, you must, number 1, have an advanced degree. And number 2, you must have a job offer, meaning there's an employer that requires your services, maybe Walmart or Amazon or Facebook or Dell Computers or Mercedes-Benz. All these are organizations. If they pick you out and they tell you, you know what, you applied for the job, a job in the United States, and we would like to offer you a job. If so long as the organization or the company is going to hire a foreign national who's based outside the US or even in the US, so long as they are a foreign national, meaning they are a non-US citizen, or they are a non-green card holder, then the employer has to file something known as a labor certification to certify the labor. Why are you, we have over 300 million people in the United States. So the US Department of Labor will question the employer. Let's say the employer is Walmart. Walmart wants to employ you as a software developer, okay? Walmart is one of the biggest grocery stores in the United States. They want to employ you as a software developer. And they say, okay, you are a foreign national, you are a non-US citizen, you don't have a green card holder. What we need to do is that we need to give you a job offer, and then we need to apply to the US Department of Labor and tell them that in the whole of the United States, we couldn't find any willing, able, qualified, and available workers. That's why we're trying to hire this alien, as the law calls it, or this foreign national. Let's stick to foreign national or immigrant. Okay. And I always tell my clients, this process is to secure the integrity of the labor market in the United States. Now, guys, guess what? If an employer from the United States went to a place like Ghana, okay, and then they told, let me go back to this. We're on slide 1. Okay, slide 1. If an employer went to Ghana and the employer told Ghanaians, let's say Walmart stores told Ghanaians, look, I want to hire you to come and work in Walmart stores, and I'm going to pay you $5 an hour for this job in New York. And then at the end of 2 years, you get a green card. There will be many, many foreign nationals or immigrants who will go down on their knees, raise their hands and say, take me as I am, Walmart. I will work for even 50 cents an hour. I'm all yours. Sign me up quickly. That is going to destroy the integrity of the labor market in the United States, because what's going to happen is that all employers will say, oh my gosh, there's cheap labor. There's cheap labor in Philippines, in India, in Ghana, in Nigeria. I'm not going to hire a US citizen who's going to enforce minimum wage rules and say, you have to pay me $15 an hour so I can pay my rent in Los Angeles. No. So what is going to happen is that all employers will now go abroad and hire foreign nationals, right? So we will have the US, and a lot of immigrants will be here because they are working, and the US citizens and green card holders will not have any jobs to do because their rates are too high. Again, guys, remember that the minimum wage rules, every state has minimum wage, okay? Minimum wage means that there's a minimum that your employer has to pay you. Some of the states, I understand, $13. Some states may be different. If you know the minimum wage of your state, if you're in the US, drop it in the chat box. But generally, it's about $13 an hour. And so, first of all, if an employer wants to file an EB2 petition for you, they need to show that you, the beneficiary, because you're going to benefit from this application, you do have an advanced degree, and there's a job offer that they are offering. They're offering you a job, and then they have applied for labor certification with the US Department of Labor. Okay, someone says Delaware is $15 an hour, minimum wage. Okay, so now in order to be able to hire foreign national license, as I said, they have to have an advanced degree, and the foreign national also has to have a job offer from a US employer, and they should have a labor certification filed for them. Okay, now let's move on. The catch is that if you don't have, okay, now let's go to labor certification. What is labor certification? That is where the secretary determines that there's no sufficient US workers able, willing, qualified, and available to do the work. That's why a foreign national is being hired for the role. So there's a lot of steps we go through with the Department of Labor called PERM to certify why a foreign national must be hired in the place of a US citizen or a green card holder or somebody with a work permit. Okay. And then again, the labor certification method, the employer has to attest to the Department of Labor that this is not going to harm, the employment will not harm US workers. it will not affect their working conditions, such that there's so much competition that no employer wants to hire a US citizen. Okay, let's move on to the next slide, and we are showing the slides on Facebook. Now to our main topic for the day, national interest waiver. Lots of people have heard so many things about the national interest waiver. The national interest waiver is a subset of the EB2. I already told you the EB2, you have to show a job offer, you have to show a labor certification. As you can see here, with the EB2, you have the regular EB2, which requires you to have a job offer as a foreign national. You need a job offer from a company, not a scam company, but an actual company in the United States, as well as a labor certification that has been filed for you at the US Department of Labor, okay? Now with the EB2, which is a subset of the NIW, which is a subset of the EB2, it does two things. The first thing it does is that you have to establish that, the first thing the EB2 NIW does is that it allows you to waive the job offer requirement. And you have to, as a petitioner who is self-petitioning, you have to establish to USCIS that the waiver of the job offer and the labor certification requirement is in the national interest. Okay, because this is the general rule. You need a job offer, you need a labor certification. Now, if you are coming to tell us that, can you please waive or put aside these requirements for my sake? You gotta tell us why. The US government will tell us, well, tell us why, because we require a job offer, we require a labor certification. Now, if you're looking for us to waive these requirements, tell us why, give us a good reason. And the reason you have to give is that the waiver of the job offer and the labor certification is in the national interest. It's in the interest of the United States of America. You guys, you know there's something called quid pro quo. Nobody gives anything for free, not especially in this day and age. If I'm giving you something, then I'm looking for something in exchange. That's generally how it works. Apart from people who do philanthropy, you know, they do some, they do charity work. They do charity work, you know, they can give things for free. And even then, those people have grants, right? And they have, you know, donations, and they have ways they are funding all these things. So the US is not different. The US is no different. If you're asking them for a green card, then they're like, okay, then you have to do something that will benefit the United States as a country. Okay, so you get a green card, we get the benefit. And that is why it's called the national interest waiver, because you are asking the US government or USCIS to waive the job offer and the labor certification requirement in the interest of the United States. Okay, now eligibility for the NIW. NIW eligibility, the first thing you need to demonstrate is that you qualify under EB2 classification. This means that you have an advanced degree or you have exceptional ability. So to enter into the EB2 playing field, the soccer playing field, even to be given access to start competing on that soccer field, you got to show the US government that you have an advanced degree or you have exceptional ability. Okay, let's go into what these mean. All these things they have legal definitions. They mean something in law. And if you fail to meet the definition, then your case will be denied. Okay, so guys, don't forget to share this video. And as we're discussing, I would love feedback from you. If I'm hitting a point you love, just drop an emoji of the US flag, drop any emoji, and then I know where we can focus our discussions on. Okay, so let's make it interactive. Now, what is an advanced degree? An advanced degree means that you have a PhD, a master's or a bachelor's plus 5 years of progressive work experience, post-bachelor's progressive work experience in a qualifying field. Okay, now let me go here. You can have a PhD from anywhere in the world. You can have a PhD from the US. So you can have a PhD, master's, bachelor's plus 5. These degrees do not have to be from the United States. It can be from the United States, or you can have its foreign equivalent, okay? It can be from the United